Hey there, my cog soldiers and chainsaw enthusiasts. Today we're revving up our lancers and diving headfirst into the gory, glorious mess that is Gears of War. It's like taking a trip down memory lane. If that lane was littered with locust bodies and echoed with the sweet sound of chainsaws cutting through, well, just about everything. So grab your ammo and let's get tactical about dissecting what made this game a bloody cornerstone in the pantheon of shooters. The genesis of Gears of War began with Epic Games, a company already renowned for its Unreal Engine technology. This project was spearheaded by Cliff Bleszinski, a name that gets butchered more than locusts with a chainsaw. He was known for his work on the Unreal series. Bleszinski, alongside his team, wanted to create a game that would not only showcase the capabilities of the Unreal Engine, but also set a new standard for the third-person shooter genre. The development of Gears of War was a leap into uncharted territory for Epic Games. The team aimed to craft a narrative-driven experience, something more profound than the typical action games of the era. They envisioned a dark, immersive world ravaged by war, where players would feel the weight of survival against the monstrous locust horde. The game settings, the planet The planet Sierra was designed to be a character in its own right, with rich backstories and lore underpinning its war-torn landscapes. The Xbox 360, while a powerful console for its time, was still a relatively new technology when Gears of War was in development. One of the biggest challenges the development team faced was memory management. The ambitious graphics and detailed environments of Gears of War required a significant amount of the console's memory resources. Managing these resources efficiently was crucial to prevent issues like slow loading times, texture pop-ins, or even game crashes. Another hurdle was maintaining a consistent frame rate. Gears of War aimed for a cinematic experience, which required the game to run smoothly at all times. However, the advanced physics, real-time lighting, and detailed animations put a heavy load on the console's processor. The team had to meticulously optimize each element of the game to ensure it ran consistently at 30 frames per second, a standard for providing a fluid and immersive gameplay experience. Their success in overcoming these challenges not only made Gears of War a landmark title for the Xbox 360, but also demonstrated the potential of the console and set a new standard for game development. But that's enough about the tech. Let's talk storyline. And no better place to start than with the rugged warriors of the Delta Squad. The hero of the day is Marcus Phoenix, your quintessential tough guy with a heart. A disgraced soldier with a complex past. He's joined by his loyal friend Dominic Dom Santiago, a man driven by personal loss and duty. Then there's Augustus Coltrane Cole and Damon Baird, each bringing their unique brand of humor and skill to the squad. These characters aren't just digital avatars, they're the emotional core of the game, each with their own backstory that adds layers to the narrative. Now the story of Gears of War is a tale of survival, brotherhood, and resistance against the Locust Horde. a nightmarish enemy emerging from beneath the planet's surface. The game unfolds in a series of intense encounters and dramatic moments, with the story intricately woven into the gameplay. It's not just about shooting the bad guys, it's about understanding the stakes of this desperate struggle for survival.
Scourge. Destroy them.
Sierra, once a paradise, now a battleground, is rich with history. From the discovery of the energy source emulsion to the pendulum wars and the catastrophic Emergence Day, the game's lore sets the stage for a world steeped in conflict and tragedy. This backstory isn't just for show. It's integral to understanding the motivations of the characters and the desperation of their fight against the locusts. The game challenges players to think about the cost of war and the sacrifices made by those who fight it. The storytelling, combined with the atmospheric world building, creates an immersive experience that resonates emotionally with players, making the game more than just a series of firefights, but a journey into the heart of a conflict that tests the limits of its characters. Central to Gears of War gameplay is its revolutionary cover system. This wasn't just about finding a wall to hide behind. It was a dynamic, integral part of the combat. Players could snap to cover, leap over barriers, and perform evasive maneuvers, all with a fluidity that was groundbreaking at the time. This system required players to think strategically about their environment, using it as a tool for both defense and offense. It introduced a tactical depth, making positioning as crucial as aiming. Then there's the active reload mechanic, a subtle yet game-changing feature. Players could manually trigger a reload at any time, with a timed minigame that offered a risk-reward challenge. Hit the sweet spot and your next magazine deals more damage and reloads faster. Miss it and you're stuck with a jammed weapon at a potentially critical moment. This added a layer of skill-based gameplay to even the most mundane aspect of shooting games, keeping players engaged and on their toes. The weapon design in Gears of War deserves a special mention. Each weapon felt unique, not just in appearance, but in handling and strategy. The Lancer, for instance, was more than a rifle. Its chainsaw bayonet introduced a brutal close-quarters combat option, seamlessly integrating melee into gunfights. The Hammer of Dawn, a satellite-controlled laser, required players to target and maintain a lock on enemies, adding a strategic layer to its devastating power. The varied arsenal encouraged players to experiment and adapt to different combat scenarios. And let's not forget the enemy AI in Gears of War was another area that the game glowed, was bright, did very well. The Locust Horde wasn't a mere collection of mindless targets. They employed tactics, sought cover, and reacted to player actions. This adaptive AI kept players on their toes, ensuring that combat never felt repetitive. It wasn't just about outgunning the enemy, it was about outsmarting them, exploiting weaknesses, and adapting to their tactics. And multiplayer in Gears of War took these mechanics and elevated them to a competitive landscape. The cover system and weapon variety led to intense, strategic matches where teamwork and communication were as vital as quick reflexes. The game modes like Warzone and Execution encouraged aggressive yet tactical play, creating a multiplayer experience that was as engaging as the single-player campaign. The sequel, Gears of War 2, dialed everything up to 11. The narrative depth was enhanced, delving deeper into the lore of Sierra and the personal stories of the Delta Squad. The game introduced new characters and expanded on the backstories of existing ones, enriching the emotional weight of the story. The stakes were higher, and the scale of the conflict was grander, with more epic set pieces and dramatic moments. In terms of gameplay, Gears of War 2 was built on a solid foundation of its predecessor. The cover system was refined, offering smoother transitions and more tactical options. The active reload mechanic was kept, but with added tweaks for balance. The weapon roster expanded, introducing new tools of destruction like the mortar and the Gorgon pistol, each adding new tactical dimensions to the combat. The enemy AI was also improved, making the Locust Horde even more formidable and cunning. Multiplayer in Gears of War 2 saw a significant enhancement. The game introduced new modes like Horde Mode, which quickly became a fan favorite. This mode pitted players against waves of increasingly difficult enemies, emphasizing teamwork and strategy. The maps were more diverse and larger, accommodating different playstyles and new strategies. Gears of War 3 continued with this trajectory of growth. The story reached its climax, concluding the trilogy with emotional resonance and satisfying closure to several character arcs. The gameplay saw further refinements. The cover system was now more fluid than ever, and the weapon balance was fine-tuned for a competitive multiplayer experience. And the introduction of the Beast Mode offered a fresh perspective, allowing players to take control of Locust forces, adding variety and replayability. Each sequel in the Gears of War series didn't just add more content, they expanded the universe, deepened the narrative, and refined the gameplay mechanics. But it was the original Gears of War that was a blockbuster hit, selling over 3 million copies in just 10 weeks. It wasn't just a game, it was a phenomenon, driving Xbox 360 sales and becoming one of the console's defining titles. The sequel, Gears of War 2, continued this trend, selling over 2 million copies in its opening weekend. By the time Gears of War 3 rolled out, the series had become a juggernaut, with pre-orders alone surpassing 1 million, a testament to the franchise's growing fan base and anticipation. But the impact of Gears of War wasn't confined to the sales charts. It permeated pop culture, influencing not just gaming, but also other media. The franchise spawned novels, comics, and even talks of a film adaptation. At the end of the day, Gears of War is a series that came, saw, and conquered with a chainsaw gun. It wasn't just a few games about burly men fighting bug-eyed monsters. It was a roller coaster ride through a world where survival means quick thinking, quicker reloading, and always staying in cover. And with that, we roll credits on Gears of War, leaving behind a legacy written in bullet casings and locust blood. Until the next time we rev up our Lancers, keep gaming, keep thinking, and never forget, in the War of Gears, the biggest battles are often fought one cover at a time. If you enjoyed our deep dive into Gears of War, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thanks for watching.